From heroin to cocaine to even meth, there is a push to defelonize, not decriminalize, drug possession charges here in Colorado.
So the goal is to get those struggling with addiction to get help, keep them out of prison as well. But critics say this is a slippery slope.
And that is why tonight, Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski is going 360 on this latest push.
Day after day, from Denver to Colorado Springs, the images and video look the same.
We'll find needles and used baggies everywhere where little kids can get to it.
People living on our streets, in our parks, in their cars, or anywhere they can find. Everyone agrees there's a problem. Anyone can see it. But what is the solution? Some Colorado lawmakers want to make felony drug charges a thing of the past, a way to stop arresting away our drug problem. But critics argue it comes with a whole host of other issues. So tonight we're going 360 for 4 eye-opening perspectives.
The system is broken, and this is a way to fix it.
First up, the Democratic lawmaker leading the charge to overhaul our criminal justice system. Representative Leslie Herod is sponsoring a bill to defelonize drug possession for all Schedule I and Schedule II drugs. We're talking everything: heroin, crack, fentanyl, you name it.
Colorado as a state will reprioritize this and say addiction is a public health issue, not one that's just incarcerative.
In her view, this is a way to keep those struggling with addiction out of prison, in favor of treatment.
We're not saying it's no longer a crime. We're not saying that simple possession is something that you're going to get a slap on the wrist for. 180 days is still 180 days in jail.
Supporters also argue it's a way to save taxpayer money. The Joint Budget Committee found savings anywhere from $8 to $13 million over the next 5 years. Money they want to use to fund treatment programs.
Yep, that's all came out of there.
Michael Sinnott,
Whatever we can do to help,
sees the impacts every day.
every little piece helps.
He works right across the street from a homeless camp and thinks it would make the problem worse, not better.
People wouldn't be so afraid of getting a felony. So, yeah, I pray that don't happen.
We've got bags up on the roof, trash bag on top.
Brandon is one of those struggling to survive. He, on the other hand, is all for it.
Unless you have an intent to distribute, you shouldn't be charged as a felon and ruin your life.
Brandon says he's not a drug user, but has his own felonies.
It's check fraud and falsifying information to a pawnbroker.
He says it made it harder to get off the streets.
Once a felony is on your record, it's hard to find a job, it's hard to find a place to live because a lot of the apartment complex won't take felons.
My goodness, Denver is about to turn itself into, I think, the homeless capital of the Rocky Mountain region.
Arapahoe County District Attorney George Brockler.
All we've done is push those dollars down that are going to be spent from the state to the county.
Instead of going to state prison, he says those convicted of drug charges will end up in county courts and county jails at the expense of taxpayers in those communities.
I don't believe there are going to be cost savings here.
Brockler also points to the drug sentencing overhaul Colorado went through in 2013, which made it possible for those convicted of felony drug charges to have it automatically changed to a misdemeanor if they meet all of the court requirements.
This bill takes that incentive away.
But those in favor of reduced penalties say the change hasn't been successful. This recent report from the Colorado Criminal Justice Reform Coalition shows drug felony cases have more than doubled since 2012. And then there's what's happening in cities like Seattle. They introduced the LEAD program, an effort to divert low-level drug users out of the criminal justice system and into community-based treatment. Many say the program is working to keep drug offenders out of prison.
Seattle is dying.
But this recent Como News documentary, called Seattle's Dying, paints a much grimmer picture.
This story is about a beautiful jewel that has been violated and a crisis of faith amongst a generation of Seattleites.
Now, it is commonly referred to as Freeattle.
El Paso County Sheriff Bill Elder is urging lawmakers to watch this documentary.
Seattle, Washington did this exact same change a number of years ago, and their homeless population has skyrocketed.
Elder isn't just worried about the impact on his county jail, which is already at capacity. He views the legislation as a slap in the face to officers across the state, putting their lives on the line every day.
For us to have to deal with somebody over and over and over again because legislators who've never experienced what it is we experience, they just don't.
Time to flip them? No, they just got put on.
Back on the streets, ask anyone. The drugs, the camps, and the rot can't go on.
It's just getting worse and worse. People don't want to come around here no more.
But what's to stop them?
Just trying to survive.
That's for you to decide. Jennifer Kovaleski, Denver 7.